Hi everyone. Today I wanted to bring to you another snack recipe, and this is a very different thing. Again, many people in parts of India, it's very common, and this is called makhana, or essentially in English, it means lotus seeds or fox nuts. So you get these packets in the Indian store. You also sometimes I've seen places like Whole Foods have certain spiced up versions of this as well. So today we are going to make our own. So this is plain makhana or lotus seeds. You can see these are puffed up. They're kind of like if you think of puffed rice or Rice Krispies, right? But much bigger. They're kind of crunchy. There is nothing hard inside. There is no kind of popcorn slash Rice Krispie kind of a texture. So if I were to break into this, which let me do that over here and try this out right now. Okay, so as you can see, this is what it looks like. And so this is plain. Now it's also a little bit it's not as crispy as I would like it to be. So what I do is I create kind of a dressing or a spice mix to kind of coat all of these in. But before we do that, I am going to put them in my OTG here, and you can also put it in your oven. I am going to bake these at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. So really the goal is not to cook them or anything like that. The goal is to just get them nice and warm and slightly crispy, and that way I'm not, it's not like popcorn where it's kind of dealing with the heat and the burnt spices for longer. So this keeps the spices kind of prevent them from burning essentially. So anyway, so what we are going to do is do that, and then I'll show you a couple of different ways that you can eat it. But I'll see you in a second once these are nice and crispy. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare some oil spice mix. Okay, so my lotus seeds are nicely warmed up here. I can touch them now. Like I said, the goal is not to brown them, though you'll see some slightly kind of starting to happen brown. But adjust your oven temperature. If you need to turn it down to 325, or if you just need to do it under 10 minutes, I think that is fine. The goal is to get them nice and crispy. Now they're still warm. I have my spice mix box over here. I also have some cumin seed powder, salt, oil, and here's my little pot that I'm going to do the tempering in. So it's almost like trying to get the tempering in. So about 1 tablespoon or a little bit more of oil in here. The lotus seeds that I had from the packet was about 100 grams. So that's what we are going to be work with. So as soon as this comes up to heat, I'm going to start. Now you can also add in some asafoetida as well. This is generally we use this, but this is totally optional. So I'm going to skip it today. You can do variations with different spices, but today I'm just going to use some turmeric, red chili powder, cumin seed powder, and then maybe a little bit of this garam masala. This garam masala is essentially a blend of different spices. So, and then salt, of course. So I generally eyeball a lot of these spices in here, but I would probably start with 1/4 of a teaspoon of each of these. You can cut down on the chili powder for sure. And then this. So, and here, as you can see, this one, maybe just do a little bit less. So, just kind of mixing this up in here. So you can hear the slight sizzle. I also put in some salt, and you can see the bubbling in the oil there. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, which is going to be difficult if I try to do this one-handed, but again, my heat is on really low so the spices don't burn. I'm actually going to turn it off now, and I'm going to start pouring these in here and toss the makhana around as well. So just gonna add a little bit and toss it, then add a little bit as well and toss it. So as soon as I finish this up, I'm gonna start tossing them around. And that's why if you see I took a big bowl in here. Okay, so I'm gonna just use my spatula here as well to scrape things down and just move this around so that all of these pieces get coated in. Now, the best way to do this is also have someone help you pour the dressing in while you toss this around. So yeah, I'm just gonna, as long as this is warm and the oil is kind of still absorbing, just move this around. At this point, I can do a test. Yeah, so I'm gonna try not to put too much salt, but I think it needs a little bit more. I tried to go conservative on the salt in the oil itself. But the ideal thing is to put it in the oil so that it coats the lotus seeds. Otherwise, it's just gonna go to the bottom here. So yeah, so that is now, you can just eat it as a snack, really. I mean, that's the easiest way to do this. But I'm gonna show you how to make a makhana chaat out of this. So let me come back with my ingredients for the chaat. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little bit of this dal mix. Essentially, it's a puffed rice mix in here. So it has some puffed rice as well as some of what we call as save, which is kind of like chickpea fried noodles, but really, really small. And then I got some sweet chutney in here. This is a tamarind and date chutney. So what it basically has is tamarind, dates, and some spices like red chili powder, salt, and cumin seed powder. So that is all that there is in here. You can also find a ready-made chutney in the Indian store, the tamarind chutneys. This essentially is a sweet, tangy, and spicy. Like that's the taste notes. Then in here, instead of a green chutney, so generally we also use a lot of coriander chutney or mint chutney. I'm going to use the Trader Joe's Zook sauce. Essentially, this is a green chutney or a sauce. It has a lot of the same ingredients. If you look over here, when I make my green chutney, I use all of these ingredients except the oil. So essentially, that's what I'm going to use here as a substitute because I haven't made any green chutney, but this is really, really close and I really like it. Got some peanuts in here as well. So let's get started. So we're making one serving here. Got a little bit of that mix in here, and I'm going to put my makhana. Okay, so next up, I'm going to put my Zook sauce. So this is spicy. It has green chilies. Again, I like spicy, but a lot of this is based on what your taste preferences are. So, so if you don't like it too spicy, use just a little, or you can use more. And then again, depending on how spicy your sweet chutneys, which is, it's not just sweet, it's like I said, sweet and tangy and spicy. You can see I add a lot because I really like it nice and tangy and spicy. So that's a little bit of that. I'm gonna sprinkle in some peanuts over here. Okay, and then you basically toss it together. Mix this up. And what you want to make sure happens in here, now you can do this in a bigger bowl as well, but I'm just going to make a serving for myself. Essentially like a salad dressing, you want to make sure it coats everything. So yeah, I mixed it, added in a little bit. Now again, that's the beauty, that if you think the sauce is too much, you want a little dry, add more of your mix and just adjust it. So yeah, this is kind of how you can eat it. Garnish it with some coriander or pomegranate seeds. That is lovely too. I like to add blueberries too. Again, that's something different I do, but I like that sweet and tangy taste of blueberry and fresh fruit in here as well, which is different than our traditional chaats that you would find in any Indian restaurant or store. But yeah, this is a nice and quick snack. The makhana itself has a lot of nutritional value, so you can look it up. And then there's not a lot of fat or anything in here, except for maybe the fried little noodle thingies that you barely can see in here, which is the save. This is what it looks like. But again, A lot of ingredients are optional, replace with your own. But I hope you try this out. And if you like it, please let me know. And if you want to see some similar recipes or any other recipe requests that you might have, please comment below and hit the subscribe button and like this video. And that way I'll continue to bring you some nice recipes that are different than what you might normally see on YouTube. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in another video. Bye.